Bonjour les étudiantes. All right, so let's talk about les verbes en IR. That is verbs that end in IR. Now, if you want to follow along with me in the book, the textbook, we're going to go to page 104. So go ahead and turn there, and let's talk about the regular IR verb that they have as that example. Now, remember with ER verbs, they are the ones that end with ER. These ones instead end with IR. And the good news is, just like with ER, there are plenty of regular ones, so it's not going to be a big deal. Now for this regular IR verb, or ER verb example, we're going to use their example, finir, which means to finish. Now, just like always, let's start off with the 6 basic ones, or basic conjugations. So we have je, which is I, tu, which is informal you, remember that's also singular, il, and that'd be he. Remember, elle and on are conjugated the same way. And as I mentioned, these ones are all singular. Then we also have nous, which is we, vous, which is you, either plural or you formal, and il, which is said the same as the other il, but this one's plural. That means they. Remember, elle with an S also works here. So here's how these end. Now, just like before, this IR is the part that we are going to be changing. This main part here, the FIN, is going to stay the same in each version. So let's get started. With the first one, let's write our FIN. And then, as you can see, we're going to change that ending to IS. So instead of it being finir, it's now fini. Now for tu, remember Mr. Tu walks with his dog S, and he does in this case as well. So je and tu are the same. Je finis, tu finis. Now with il, elle, and on, we're going to change it up a little bit and put an I at the end. So fin-i with a T at the end. Now all of these, the final consonant is silent, so it's je finis, tu finis, il finis. However, we have 2 S's and a T, just something to keep in mind as we go along. Now with nous, we have finissons. We have a lot of S's going on here, but the good news is that the very, very end, the last 3 letters, are going to be the exact same as whenever we're doing regular ER verbs. So let me show you. So we have our FIN, and we're going to add ISSONS. Now if you remember, ONS is the regular ER verb ending. So if it helps you remember, just remember the regular ER verb endings are actually at the end of nous, vous, and il. The part that we add is this ISS. That helps us remember that it's an IR verb instead. So it's nous finissons. Now for vous, similar, FIN, ISSEZ. So as you can see, EZ, that was the regular ER verb ending. However, since this is finir, we are going to add the ISS before it. So it's vous finissez. And for il, we have FIN, ISSENT. So again, the regular ER ending with the ISS in front of it. Now if it helps you remember, we add the IS to je and to tu. So just kind of think of it this way. You double the consonants here, and then you add the regular ER endings. So let's go ahead and say them all together. So it's je finis, tu finis, il finit, nous finissons, vous finissez, il finit, or il finit. Now remember, we don't really say this ENT here very much, so, you know, we'll kind of go with that. So, je finis, tu finis, il finit, nous finissons, vous finissez, ils finissent. Et voilà, there you go. That's how you do regular IR verbs. Now, a couple of other things that you need to know. So in a couple of different instances, we're going to use a and de. Now, one of the places where we use this is with the verb réfléchir. Accent C-H-I-E-R. And in this case, we use a. We are thinking of something, or reflecting on something. Now, if I'm going to use this in a sentence, remember that I'm going to conjugate from the IR, so it might look like this. If I talk about how I think about my cat, which you know I do, I could say something like this. Je réfléchis. And then remember, is is the ending for je. So, je réfléchis à le chat. Now, there is one thing that you probably spotted. À le doesn't stay à le. Instead, we're going to erase it and make it what it should be, which we learned from the last chapter. Au. So, je réfléchis au chat. I think about the cat. Now, another example is with réussir. Réussir. Now, usually with this one, we use a as well. So you succeed at something. Now, usually the a comes before an infinitive or a noun. For example, like you pass a test, réussir à un examen. So, remember we're going to conjugate to here, and let's do it in a sentence. So, I passed a test today. So, I could say, je réussis, SS, and then remember the ending for je is IS, à un examen, and then remember today is aujourd'hui, so aujourd'hui. So all it says is I passed at an exam today. Et voilà. There we go. That's how you can use that. Now remember, you can also use réussir with an infinitive. So if I succeed at finding the cat, I could say this. Je réussis. Remember, I'm conjugating to je again. À trouver, finding le chat. I succeed at finding the cat. Je réussis à trouver le chat. Et voilà, that's how we use that. Now, one last one that uses a or de, and in this case, it's de, and it's finir itself. So finir, de. Now remember, we conjugate to here. It's a very small root there, just F-I-N. So let me show you how this could go. Oh, remember, the de comes before an infinitive, so you don't use it all of the time with finir. However, you do use it sometimes. So if I were to say I usually finish eating at 8 o'clock, then I could do it like this. Just like in the example in the book, en général, in general, je, and then remember, we add the is at the end of fini, in this case, je finis de manger at 8 heures. Usually they just put a period. So, voilà, en général, je finis de manger à 8 heures. So, since I have an infinitive here, I add my de here, et voilà. And notice that the de here doesn't become do or day or anything like that because, of course, this is a verb, and with verbs we don't have definite articles. And so there you go. That's basically how you conjugate IR verbs and a couple of the little rules to remember as you're going along. As always, if you have any questions, you need any help, just let me know. Have a wonderful day, guys.